Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Appreciate a thumbs up in the chat or something like that if you can hear me. I've been dealing with little technical difficulties getting this up. But yes, okay, thank you. Hello, No Mercy, Chris, Shake, AE. How are you all doing today? And Still Game, is that the name? That's awesome. Hope you all are having a nice Friday. I'm glad I could get an afternoon stream in, afternoon for me, because all my streams have been nighttime my time, which has been real tough for Europeans. That's like first thing in the morning for Europeans. So, glad everyone's here. Happy Friday. Hello, Marionette. Welcome. TGIF is right. I have been building my deck all week, and I am just so exhausted. I really didn't know if the stream was going to get in this week because I wanted to make sure that the deck was done. It's been taking so much out of me to do, and wow. Yes, deck building is tough. Holy moly. Hey, JMWZ. Evening from Scotland from Still Game. I went to Scotland a few years ago. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. Loved every single second I was in Scotland. I mean, the drinks are good too. So, all right. So here we are in Oracle Valley, and throughout today's live stream, which I'm planning to be about an hour and a half, but knowing me, I'll be a little long, but I'm hoping for an hour and a half stream. But I have a few announcements that I'm going to make throughout the live stream. But the goal of today's live stream is to create more historic roads and regional roads throughout the whole map, because it's going to tie into a lot of videos down the line, and I didn't want to just do parks again. Chris says 6-hour stream. You know, honestly, most days I'm game. Not today. I'm going to take a long nap after this, or maybe just go to bed extra early. Like Good Friday plans for right there, right? Going out with friends? No. It's the night before Canada Day too, which is big party weekend here in Canada, and yeah, I'm going to bed early because I'm old and tired. Hey Joy, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so here is Oracle Valley, specifically Port Roberts and the surrounding towns, and we are going to be kind of building out into this direction, I hope, out over here today. But I really want to get a few roads up in this area, and then over in here. I think we're pretty good on this side. We have a few roads that we built not too long ago out this way, so that's a good starting point. Hey David, welcome. And yeah, so that's kind of the idea today. So I'm going to pretty much ignore this part of the map, but focus on this part, and specifically this river here, and crossing the river, because if you missed like the first episode when I kind of planned everything out roughly, Port Roberts is not the biggest town in this city. The idea is that this is kind of the supporting town, but the large downtown with the skyscrapers and whatnot is going to be over in this side of the map. I'm basing the city off of the Vancouver metro area, and this little peninsula here screams to me Stanley Park, which is a massive park in Vancouver, and it's beautiful, stunning. So that's the idea right here. It's in the same kind of spot in Vancouver as it is going to be in this city, so why not? But the downtown, I'm planning to kind of face in this direction, face this beautiful nature reserve we have here, and I feel like this would have a really good sight line along here. And yeah, I am also waiting for Raid Kitty to stop the stream. In our Discord, Raid said that she's going to stop it, and I'm nervous. I don't know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, so this river here, it's kind of blocking us. We only really have one way across, which is this highway here, which is fine. I mean, we've only built in this direction, but it's a pretty wide river here, and I feel like it's not realistic to Fraser River, which is the river that kind of runs through the Vancouver metro area, because there's a lot more islands in those rivers, and this river has a few over here, but I think it needs like one grand island, and this is going to be important because we're going to need to get bridges across here, and this is going to be supporting some of the bridges down the line. So I'm kind of looking at this spot right here for an island, and then maybe another one right here. So this is going to be kind of two good spots. And then we're going to look at crossing the river. Now we have this intersection. Whoa. We have this intersection right here that's a really good spot to cross the river. It runs along here. It kind of connects up with this hotel build we did last episode. And it's kind of like right down this main corridor of this area here. It's also pretty close to this highway too, but we'll for sure get a couple interchanges, maybe even another interchange here down the line, and then definitely one over here on the other side of the river. Convenient. So I think we need to connect this up here with a bridge. This is probably more likely to be a modern bridge, seeing as where we are. We have like an elevated section here, crossing this point. Like this area here is likely to get flooded in real life, particularly after heavy rainfalls or, you know, in this early spring when all the snow is melting from the mountains and whatnot, right? So this is probably a bit more of a modern construction of a road, but we need to get a historic bridge across here, and that is what's going to tie in with this secondary island, or maybe even just use one of these ones here. But we need to cross this bridge in a modern sense and in a historic sense. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. So before they got the highway bridge, which I'm sure everyone uses, they would have had an older truss bridge, right? So I believe there is some cool bridges that we could use. Yeah, here we go. The European 2-lane stone bridge. No, I feel like we need like a good big truss bridge. That would be cool. The 4-lane American truss bridge. How does this one look? If we just build it right there like that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that. But I really like the underneath. I've always wondered, is that a pedestrian bridge underneath it? Let's see. Does anyone know? Because if people can use that, that would be really, really cool. And I would definitely lean towards using this bridge here because that's really neat. I've never actually used this bridge. So it'd be nice to know. But it doesn't look like you can get out on this side. So we'll see. Yeah, it does look like it. So that's one of them. Now there is a new bridge that I've been told about, and I don't think it's with this one. Let's see. No, this is the Industry 4-lane road. It's the same. I think it's the Industry Highway. Yeah, Industry Highway has a really cool bridge, but it's only one lane or one way. So it's underneath here. Let's take a look at it. If we go into move it, we can grab these nodes, holding shift, page up, and we should be able to lift it up. Yeah, I mean that is so cool. But I feel like the bridge that we need to build is going to be I like one with big iron like crusts on it. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one here, but it's really small. That's the only problem. Let's see if we can get it up. Nope. Why can't I build this? It doesn't need to be in bridge. It needs to be in elevated. Interesting. So yeah, I think this one looks a bit more... Whoa. Tsunami's coming in here. This one looks a bit more realistic, but it's really tight. Like it's only 2 lanes. So these are the things I've been grappling with. So the other option is we go traditional and we run with the classic 4-lane road. If I could find it. My goodness. Let's go into City Skylines. That's it right here. There we go. And we put this one into bridge, and then this one here looks very much like a modern bridge. And I think this is probably the safest one to go with, because if we were to go up to 6 lanes, which is right here, we get that, which is too close to what we have on the highway. So I think I'm leaning towards this one here because we get kind of a bit of everything, even though I'm sure everyone has used this a million times. David says those green box bridges are usually in pairs. Yeah, I just don't know how we're going to get this to kind of have 2 different roads. That would be cool, though. We could kind of have them deviate in different directions on the other end of it. So just going to check up on some of these comments here. So JMWZ says, if the paths underneath are not walkable, maybe invest in paths that can make them functional. Good point. Let's try to build. I really like that bridge, but I think the idea of having the exposed trusses, I think that's a bit more realistic for this area, especially this size of river crossing too. That's what I'm leaning towards. And then Joy said, what I did, Stephen, is I used 2 of those bridges in my city, and I made one of them for truck traffic and one of them for car traffic. Ah, that's pretty smart. All right. So let's build the island, because that's going to give us a landing. And let's select this height here. And we'll just kind of go right in the middle here. We're going to get some flooding, so Port Roberts, be warned. A little late, but evacuate probably. And let's try and find ourselves a bit of a unique shape here. That's pretty neat. And then if we go down in size, select a bit of a larger height, we can create a bit of a middle here. Let's go a bit taller. Did I not go taller? There we go. All right. Let's see. How's the damage? Well, we did something because the river has decided to leave. And that is terrifying. Because I don't think you can get a tsunami in a river like this. So, okay. Well, yeah, that's a pretty cool island. I like that. Let's now plan this out. So we're going to go with this 4-lane classic road. And we're going to go into bridge position. And then right from here, let's turn on node snapping. Right from here, we're going to see if we can cut directly across. Oh, that is quite the long bridge. I don't think that's going to work. Because look at all those trusts. So maybe we go elevated for a little bit of it. And we'll go out to about here. Yeah, and then we'll go into bridge. Let's see if we can get like 4 of these. Actually, we still have a long way to go, don't we? Okay. Maybe we should go with the original plan then. I need to add trees as the wind would carry seeds onto the island. Oh, of course, of course. We just got to let the land get some growable area, as we learned over here. When we did this island last episode, all of these were dead, and now they're thriving. So let's find that bridge again. It is over here, Stephen. My goodness, I'm so out of it right now. My goodness. So it's this one. And we're going to see if we can get the bridges to work. Sorry, the pedestrian parts to work. So we need to bridge this right across here. Let's make sure we're actually at a 90-degree angle. That would be helpful. Okay, we're not at a 90-degree angle. There we go, 90 degrees. Bring this right across, like that. And then with Move It here, we're going to select the nodes of this bridge. And we're going to say get to the same height as this. And we're going to see where we're at. Because we're going to probably need to move some things around. Oh, hey, No Mercy. Welcome. Alrighty. So we're at this intersection, which is going to get upgraded down the line. I'm not going to really worry about... What the? Since when are there trees on this road? Alright. We're going to upgrade this intersection down the line when we do an interchange here. So I'm just going to focus on the connections here. Alright, so this is flush. That is so cool. Perfect. What an engineering marvel. So let's see if we should probably lower it at any points. Maybe we just keep it at the same height. I mean, I think it's probably best to keep it at the same height. I don't really know if we should peak it in the middle. because what's the point, really, right? So let's add in some trees now. Oh, they're starting to get healthy. Shake says, you have the best engineers. Yeah, Port Roberts made a huge investment from Fort Prairie's engineering school. The Engineering School of Concrete Design, I think, is what it was called, or something like that. And they built this bridge. So, good Alberta engineers. All right, so that is awesome. We have that historical connection in place now. So that was kind of the first bridge. Now I've got to create a second bridge that's a more historical bridge. So I got to find a spot here for a historical connection. And if we're talking historical connection here, we're going to be really needing to think about how they would have built it back then, right? So they probably would have looked for the shortest spot, a spot that is equal height on both sides as well, right? So I'm thinking this pocket here, right at this little waterfall, is probably a good spot for an original bridge construction. Because if we're looking at this island on this side, it is much higher over here than it is over here, so that would be a little tricky. David says you might be able to remove every other node so we have longer spans on that bridge. That is a good idea, because it does seem like there's a lot, doesn't there? Let's see, if we go into Network Multitool, which is my favorite mod, we can remove nodes. Let's start here. So we remove this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. There we go. And then let's reposition some of these, because that would be nice if we could move all three of these guys over a little bit. Let's hold Alt so we don't leave the straight line here. And then now that bridge is right in the middle of the island here, which is fantastic. And this one can then move over a little bit more. And this one will move over a little bit more as well, and it won't look too weird at all. That was a great idea, David. Looks so much better. Yeah, it really does, especially from this distance here. Yeah, very convenient. So, yeah, I'm thinking this point right here is a good spot for a historical bridge. So I'm thinking like perhaps it was a really old crossing a long time ago. And maybe they've built it up. So I'm not going to do a covered bridge or anything like that. But I'm thinking right here is a good spot for like a truss bridge. This green one here. I don't think it's going to be anything like too heavy of a trafficked area. So I'm thinking we can probably get away with it if we are able to make this look clean. Let's see, 30 units. Let's go maybe a bit less, 28. 28 units sounds good. Oh, hey, Tim, welcome. Okay, so here is the bridge. Now, if we're on this trajectory, we're going to hit these rocks, though. So I think I need to move it over just slightly. Just ever so slightly. All right. This way. Okay, and then let's all get them to the same height, and we'll say whatever this height is. And how are we on this side? A little low, but that's okay. We'll use the National Highway piece, or the Country Road. I think the Country Road is my preferred one, because people can walk on it. They can't walk on the National Highway pieces. So that is unfortunate. But let's then go into freeform here. And we'll kind of go right nearby. Oh my goodness, did I just see a moose? It's a bear. For the longest time, for some reason, I think I had animals turned off, and I don't know why. They are the cutest things. Like, this little bear is just on a mission here. I gotta find Kevin again. Yeah, he's somewhere in this park, or in this area, but I don't know where he is, so we gotta find him. Okay, so we'll go off in that direction shortly. But yeah, I think that bridge connection looks great there. And then this gives lots of space on this side here too. Okay, so whoa, I missed a lot of comments. Hi Kyle, welcome. The legend says, can you pinpoint Saint Jean Baptiste while you're at it? So that actually brings me to a point, though. So I will do that in an episode soon, but there's a reason why I'm not today. And then Legend also asks, can I explain Quebec road designs? Well, I think I can answer both these at once. Quebec road designs, really unique because Quebec's a really unique spot. But I'm going to save that for a future video or series because that is going to be a real integral part of an upcoming series. So, but basically, historically, Quebec was known as New France and was settled by French people, and they brought in their French designs. And basically, the waterfront in Quebec is really unique because it has these really long slivers of property lines. So the roads are all laid out along the river or like 200 meters away from the river, so that these lots are all kind of lined up with either waterfront access or access to a road which is on the waterfront. And they're really long slivers, like long slivers of land. They're called like seigneuries, I think. And it's going to be a really unique build if anyone were to make a Quebec build. I tried to do that with Rivière de Montagne, but we never really got to that point before the game broke. But Saint Jean Baptiste, the town, which Legend asked to pinpoint a small town on the map, I'm not going to do that today because we're going to be having a guest builder in this series. I'm not going to announce who that person is yet. But perhaps a small town is something that person will do, or something along the lines. I'm not 100% sure yet. So we're gonna wait on that because I don't want to, take up a spot, an option for a small town anywhere. And that's kind of why we're doing these historic roads today, because I want to get those roads out to those potential small town spots so that there's easy access points. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so let's go back to some more comments here. Let's get a cool shot of the city while we're at it. Okay. So AE says, oh yeah, you can look at the interchanges nodes and the Highway 15 nodes if you want, or when you can. Oh, can you? Yes, so I fixed those. So I believe they should all be fixed off the roundabout now. We can go into TMPE too to double check. Some of those small, some of these like road comments, I don't always I don't always talk back or bring them back into an episode to confirm. But when I do answer the comments, I do put them down as a possible or of a thing to do. So this one, for example, has all the dedicated lanes, but this one doesn't because it's not a priority road. I don't see too many people turning them that way. This one should probably get upgraded to a larger road, but it has a dedicated left, and the same with this one. And then up here, again, not a priority road, so it doesn't have a dedicated turning lane. And then this one, again, probably should be upgraded to a larger road. But there we go. Kyle says, hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you are too, Kyle. I am exhausted. This is a challenge for me to do today. I am so pooped. But I'm really happy to be doing this. I'm really glad we were able to find a time to get a live stream in June, because I really didn't want to miss another month to do this, because I love these live streams. They're so much fun. Okay, so see this terrain shape? I think what we're going to do is we're going to follow this terrain line underneath these bridges, and we'll see where we end up afterwards. But this is, again, the historic road. So we got to think in a historical sense when we're building this. Actually, I should probably leave that on. So let's swing out over to here and maybe over onto this side. And then perhaps we curve up this way a little bit. And now let's think about where we are. Well, we're near a factory, which is really cool. That is something that we could try and tie into. We're also near an old settlement. So I think maybe we could reach out this way. But the rails are kind of blocking us, right? So we have a few options. We could go around the rail, but then what's the point of this? We never really detailed this up. This is vanilla. So should we kind of use this area here? Should we cut the rails? Should we cut through the rails? Should we go over the rails? I'm not against having a land crossing. That seems like it could be a good historical idea. Or should we think about maybe turning up this way entirely? I think we're probably going to settle on the land crossing for now, for the rails, because that's what it's likely to be in a historical sense. So let's connect up here, continue across, and turn this way. And let's look at some comments. Okay, let's exit out of this so I can scroll through, because there's been so many comments. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to where I was. Tim says today was very bad. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tim. I hope your day gets better. It is Friday, so maybe the fact that it's Friday evening will turn some things around. Legend says, in talking about French roads, as in rue and chemin. So rue is the French word for street, and chemin is the French word for road. No, wait, other way around. Rue is road, chemin is street, and then avenue is actually a French road. Same with boulevard. So those two words are the same in French. And then Gregory, oh hey Gregory, welcome to the stream, says modded gaming maps look so much nicer, smoother, and detailed than vanilla console maps. So this map is a vanilla map. It's Oracle Lake, Oracle Lake from the Plazas and Promenades DLC. It's awesome, but yeah, modded, you just get to do those little tweaks that really change things up, particularly in things like these roundabouts here. They really are a lot easier to do on mods, that is for sure. And No Merch says, interesting, a guest builder. Yes, we'll have more details on that to come. Join the Discord if you want early access to that announcement, perhaps. Haven't really talked that out yet too much. And where are we? Oh my gosh, more questions. So let's go down a little bit. Jason says, am I bilingual? Oui, je suis bilingue. Je parle français. Aussi d'anglais. Just those two languages, French and English. But yeah, I use French for my job, so I speak French. I've been bilingual for... I went to French elementary school, so most of my life, I guess. And where are we now? Okay, so someone asked, is the Fort Prairie series canceled? So yeah, this was another point that I had. So I had 2 points I wanted to bring up today: it's guest build and Fort Prairie. So let's talk about Fort Prairie after we just continue along with some of these roads here. I'm just going to do these. I'm not going to talk out how I'm going to build this road. I'm just going to talk while building the road. So Fort Prairie, it breaks my heart to say that when I've been trying to fix Fort Prairie for a little while. It's going to take a long amount of time to fix and get back up to the standard that it was, because when the new mods came out and everything, or sorry, the new DLCs came out and everything kind of broke with everyone's mods, Fort Prairie basically lost all of its trees and all of its detailing. There was maybe 5 to 10% of anything that we did beyond the building placement inside of the city. So I spent some time redetailing Brownsville, and I realized there is no possible way I have time to actually redetail the entire city, and it's so bad, like, because it's so empty, that I don't even want to just kind of bring it back and then just like keep it as such like a barren city, and then continue to build. Like if we were to build Bayview or something like that, it just doesn't, I wouldn't want that. It doesn't meet my standard that I want to build on. So It breaks my heart to say that Fort Prairie is canceled as a series, but the only reason is because of those mod issues. However, there is a silver lining to this, because it means that we're going to be able to focus on Oracle Valley. And I do think that if we throw all of our attention into Oracle Valley, we'll be able to finish it before City Skylines 2. It's a big task, and when I originally started thinking about this, I was like, there's no way October is going to be the release date. In my head, I thought like this was like a mid-November release. So that's a couple episodes, and we can do a lot in a couple episodes, right? So that's why I was thinking we could definitely maybe do both. But now that it's an October release, I definitely don't have time to fix up anything for that series. So, yeah, very unfortunate. But Fort Prairie was so fun to build. And there's some great cinematics, actually, right before we had to cancel the series. If you go on to Flyvox's channel and the Flyvox Talks podcast, the background of that is 90% Fort Prairie. So if you want an homage to Fort Prairie, Flyvox's Flyvox Talks podcast with me has some awesome cinematics of Fort Prairie right before the new DLC came out, which broke the save. So unfortunate. I know there is a way to fix it. There's just there's no possible amount of time that I have in order to do that, though. So yeah, sorry to tell you all that. But let's take a look at the comments now that we finished that road. I thought the road connected up good by the landfill. Okay. So where were we? Kyle said, I pulled a muscle at work and had to suffer through it, make it hard to even breathe. Oh man, that's tough. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully your work was able to send you home or something like that. And David says, I think having an at-grade crossing for the historic rail makes the most sense. Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is going to be an active line. So if we do, it's going to be very minimal. We'll get like an old factory out here, maybe like the printing press or something like that. Maybe like one of these old brick buildings. I think that would be cool because these older brick ones look nice. Actually, I don't know if we have any of them unlocked. Oh, the seafood factory. We got to do that. Yeah, the printing press. These old brick ones seem like they could work out here, or the steel mill or something like that. So maybe like if we have one factory out this way, we have one of these lines operating. I think that could be fine. I think we can leave that. But let's take a look at some other comments here. JMWZ says maybe you can anarchy the old road, pre-rail right of way through the rail and decide what the solution and decide what solution was found when the rail tracks were built. Ooh, good point. Whoa. Okay. So if we were to kind of delete these then, let's see if there's any thing here. Okay, so look at this. We're on a bit of a hill here. I wonder if, see these nodes here? I wonder if we could actually elevate this entirely. But it doesn't make sense that this rail would even be here because look at, it's going uphill this whole time. Like that is fairly significant for a rail, right? So I wonder if we were to redo the terrain here a little bit, because let's see the trajectory here. Perhaps the modern trajectory of the rail for this modern cargo station is over on this side. So perhaps what we do is we keep the level crossings, but we split the rail up a little bit. So I gotta just get in my head where the rail is, and it's in transit, of course. So here it is. So this is the historical rail, and actually this is probably more likely the modern rail. Wait a second. They're both broken. This is the only one that's actually connected to anything. So when we actually do the factory, we'll make sure these are connected up. But let's say that this one is the active line. We can then curve it off into this direction and have the cargo station out this way, and then we can have this line be severed. Let's see if we can connect it up here. Nice, and there's no crossing there too. So now it looks like there used to be a line here, but it has been severed, and there's nothing in use anymore because it's a historical broken right of way, but this one is still active. That kind of makes sense. And then we can tweak the lines over into here in this interchange when we actually do that factory build. Okay, so where were we in the comments? You need a rail tunnel under the river. That is a good idea. We'll see where this takes us because I do have an idea for the rail here with, we need a port over on this side. So perhaps there's a solution there, or perhaps over on this side here because this is a pretty gnarly area. We need to figure out what's going to happen on that side. Tanny, welcome, says hello everyone, and I say hello and welcome yourself. And let's see where we were. Joy says sad and understandable, probably about the Fort Prairie. Yeah, that was a tough one. I've been delaying that for a little while because I wanted to see if maybe I could get it to work. Clearly I can't, but I'm really excited that we're going to be able to focus all of our attention on Port Roberts here because this series is going to be a good send-off for City Skylines 1. Yeah. Actually, I do have a new series entirely coming out relatively soon, but it is going to be my backup series. So if I can't get a video out, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to get a video out for next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, because I'm exhausted and I need a bit of a break, and it's Canada Day this weekend, so I'm not going to have any time on Saturday to do anything, and I'm busy for the rest of the week, so no video on Tuesday, which means you're getting the backup video, which is still really fun and cool. Is it City Skylines? Is it not City Skylines? I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to share it because it's going to be a secret. We're actually going to follow this rail this whole way, actually. So we're going to follow on the inside of it. I think that's going to be the challenge of it. Knowing BC right-of-ways and how railroads were built in BC, they were usually the frontage. So it means that nothing was usually built on the other side. The rails usually were built along the rivers themselves, like right on the front. There's some really cool images if you just kind of Google like BC mountain rails or something like that. You'll see like the railways are usually like right on the edge of the river, which is really, really cool. So I think if we stay on the inside for the road, that would be neat. And yeah, so let's go into Network Multi-Tool. And we click, that's not the right one, Parallel Mode. And we go from here, and we'll just go all the way as far as I can. Over onto this side. Oh, too far. Too far. Okay, I think we're probably as far as we can get. Oh no, that was angled, or slope. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay, right to here, right to here. Click tab to switch sides, and then we're going to do plus minus to move it along a little bit more, like that. I'm going to click enter. There we go. And then this gives us a cool connection point right here. All right, so a railway right-of-way in BC in this situation, seeing as it's a 2 tracks, it's not larger than 2, is 66 feet from the end of the right-of-way, which is usually a few feet beyond the rail itself, entirely. So from here to about here, 66 feet, that is the rail right-of-way. So let's go back to some comments, and let's zoom out a little bit first so we get a cool view. All right. Carry over some of the town name suggestions from Fort Prairie to Oracle Valley. Yes, I will, for sure. The industrial evolution stuff would look great there, Amy says. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm assuming that was with the industrial factory area. That would look great. I love the Industrial Revolution stuff. That'd be really cool for like to tie in like an old factory area together with some of those smaller buildings. And Legend says, have a montage episode of Fort Prairie as episode 110 of your favorite building moments. Oh, that is a really good idea. That's actually, oh, okay. I think maybe I can do that for the send-off of City Skylines 1, if I remember to actually do it. Because I think that'd be really cool to kind of do like a montage of all the funny moments. I'll go through the comments and see if I can pull out anything. But it might not be the best quality because I don't save anything beyond like one episode after I've uploaded it. So I'm going to need to pull everything from YouTube for that. And Tim says you could turn Fort Prairie into a post-apocalyptic city. Oh, breaks my heart to do that. Already did that with Rivière de Montagne, but that is really fun. Perhaps we could do that in like a live stream or something like that. That'd be fun. Chris says like a Fallout style city. Oh, I think someone is doing like a Fallout series on YouTube, or did a Fallout based series in City Skylines. Fallout as in another video game by Bethesda Softworks. And then Joy says, did you see the beautiful grade crossing at this CS2 dev diary? I did not. Oh my goodness. I love at-level crossings. That is so fun. I'm so excited for City Skylines 2. It looks amazing. The car crashes look so silly, and I really want to witness one while I'm building, because I think that would be silly, and I like that. It doesn't look too cartoony, which I'm so happy about. Not that, you know, if it was cartoony, I wouldn't be happy about it. But the car crashes, I think, just add a little bit of silliness, which is fantastic. So, let's see. Any other trees along here? No, I'm going to leave it right here, though, because I'll kind of tie it in another direction another time. We could get a level crossing here or something like that, and then bridge it across. But that's going to be a fun challenge to build out this way, because we also have access points on this side too, which I think we should probably build up next. So let's grab our country road, which is a great asset on the workshop, because it is the highway. It's a highway speed, but it allows people to walk on it. Okay, so let's get this into a bit of a Y. And I think the historical road would probably go in this direction, like the road that came first. Yes, seeing as it's really tough to access the river here. So any access from this side, in this direction would come from this area, because it's treacherous terrain over here, right? So if a road were to be built coming in this area, it likely would not be in this direction first. It would likely come from around here. So let's do that. So that means if we're going to create a bit of a Y intersection, the dominant road is likely to be coming from this side. So let's start at 180 degrees, and let's find a nice terrain to kind of work with, a terrain area here. And let's go to about there. And then let's bridge. Can we bridge with this? Oh, it's just an elevated piece? Okay. Oh, let's get a new bridge. Let's get another bridge piece. We have a few fun ones, right? Let's see. What if we go with an industrial bridge? Because I like the industrial bridge look, the red truss bridges. Yeah, okay, so let's go with 2 pieces of bridge. And actually, I think we could get away with just one. Just one big truss, like that. Okay. And then let's grab both of these nodes, set them to the same height, and then just move them across. We're going to set the bridge first, and then we'll move everything else. So let's actually raise it up a little bit more. Actually, you know what? Let's do a covered bridge here. I don't think this... oh, no, it's going to be too much of a dominant road. Okay. I really like covered bridges. They're really cool. Yeah, I think a truss bridge is most likely here, if we're talking about a historic sense. Why can't I move this? There we go. All right. Then if we bring this one out a little bit more, like that. Oh, and grab both of these with move it. Set them to the same height. Let's lift it up a little bit more, please. Please. Why isn't it working? There we go. Awesome. Okay, so now from this point, whoops, we can re-slope everything a little bit. And we'll use the network multi-tool to do a slope from here all the way down to maybe here. 2%. Let's see if we can get it a little bit less. 1.5. That is perfect. Okay, so let's smooth this out and read some comments. Okay, where was I? Let's see. So, Kyle says, I'm so excited for City Skylines 2. It looks so good. There's so many features that look so much better than CS1. 100% agree. I've been really enjoying the dev diaries, and I've been really enjoying Flyvox and Joy's breakdowns of them. Actually, that's the only way I'm watching them. I'm not watching them at all, except for Joy and Flyvox's videos on the matter, because why not? I'm going to watch it anyway, so I might as well watch my friends talk about it, right? And then, where was the mouse? There it is. I think I missed a comment too. Legend says, I have a suggestion for a ghost town. Oh, that would be fun. Halloween just doesn't make the cut for City Skylines 1 before City Skylines 2 comes out, but I think we could probably do something like that again. And Kyle also says, Happy Canada Day. I hope that you enjoy your time. Thank you. I just built a deck just in time for Canada Day. And my old deck should have been condemned. So I never used it because it needed to be rebuilt entirely. So rebuilt it just in time. So I'm going to have a barbecue. Little Kevin's having a friend over. They're going to have so much fun together. And they're going to tire each other out, which is nice for me. So I'm excited. And Kevin is my dog, just to be clear. All right. Let's go back to some more of these comments here. JMWZ says a riverfront rail tracks can sever service interruptions after flooding. Interesting. Can serve as, sorry, can have severe service interruptions after flooding. Yes, they for sure can. Sorry, it took a little while for my brain to work. I think that that has happened recently in British Columbia. There was a really bad flood this spring, or last spring. No, it was this spring. And yeah, like the whole Abbotsford area flooded. And the main highway ran through there and the main railways. And basically, Vancouver was cut off from the rest of the world because all the roads in and out of it were washed out. And Tim says just 2 weeks left. 2 weeks to what? I'm excited to hear what. And then Legend says, if you ever invite Impriator, the German CS creator, to do a Skylines 7 feature event, oh man. Well, hey, that'd be really cool. I've loved Impriator's videos. They are awesome. I think they did, for one of the 5 B1Cs, they did the intersection or interchange that led to the airport, and if memory serves right, and that was such a cool build. I've really liked their content. And let's go back to here, and I'm just going to continue building this road while I read some more comments so we don't lose time. What do I need to do? Ground level. There we go. Then freeform, home, and I think we can probably go along the ground here. I don't think we need another bridge piece anywhere else. Let's slowly go down, though. Okay, and then if we're about here, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And Legend says, did you read my comment about the Parkway to downtown? Yes, I do remember that. I don't think we're going to get that one today because I'm going to leave all the downtown planning together. This is more regional and historic roads today. And Kyle says, country roads take me home. Oh, to the place I belong, Oracle Valley, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. Love that. That song is fantastic because my buddies and I, we play Call of Duty. And yes, that relates to Call of Duty. Because whenever one of us is making a sacrificial play, where you sacrifice yourself for your teammates, we always sing that song while we're doing it, because it's kind of funny. It's funny because it's serious, but it's not, because we don't take it seriously at all. Okay, I kind of want to go right through here and then access maybe this valley. Oh, it's not really a valley. This is just a bit of a bump. It's a bump. Okay, let's go right between the mountain and the bump. Right through here. And Tim says, I left you a suggestion on Discord. Okay, great. I'll check that out in a moment, Tim. Okay. And the next one is, how do Canadians say oot and hand? Oot and hand. That's how I say it, I guess. All right, let's continue building here. And let's sweep this over on this side and then right down the middle. We're going to do a bit of building here, and then I'll get back to some comments. All right, so I think I'm going to leave this road as the main access point through here. But because this might develop into something larger, seeing the size of this land here, we might need to figure out a way to tie in a stronger intersection. Because right now, if we were to get a road from this side or something like that, or directly from the highway onto here, that road would become the dominant road here, not this old historic road. So I think we're going to need to find a way to make an intersection here work. And I think if we were to perhaps get a road from here, bring it out like this, and then let's move it a little bit, hence the name of the mod. And then if we were to get a one-way, I don't know, I think this kind of works for now. We're definitely going to need to switch some things up, though, once we actually know what we're doing out here, because this is just very temporary road building right now. And anything that is built here can totally be moved down the line, so I'm not really worried about that. Let's connect up. Let's turn off node snapping and turn off all of these. And then let's just connect up here, turn on node snapping again. There we go. So basically now we just have a bit of a slip lane here. That's all we really need. So there we go. That's cool. And then now we can continue building out this way with our rural roads. We're on a bit of a hill here, it seems, from what I saw over on this side. So when I'm thinking about historic roads along this area, this side doesn't really bring much inspiration. It's just flat, right? So I think we're going to leave this side entirely open once we bring this road in this direction over here. So let's get to 180 degrees, turn on our guidelines again. That would be helpful. Then maybe let's sweep down this way. We'll curve down over here. And then maybe this one will bridge out or something like that. Bridge across, tunnel under. Maybe it'll turn into an interchange. I don't know. But this bridge now is kind of screaming at us. It's finally its turn to get built up a little bit, right? Let's clear a bit of a path for it. And we're going to do two things. So I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to read some comments while I'm doing it. So this road here is going to turn into the aforementioned Parkway into downtown. So this road is going to turn this way, go under the bridge here. We're going to get an intersection here, an interchange that's going to tie in with it. And then it's going to become a dominant road in here, including establishing the grid off of it. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to do the interchange. We're going to establish that curve into here because we're going to need to connect up to this road here too. I was thinking, is that the road but it's not. We're going to probably bring it in, probably off of this bump here, actually. That makes sense to do. Let's check the topography to make sure we're not doing anything too crazy. No, we're not. So let's go with a straight road right from here out, just like that. And then we can do the same thing we just did earlier. So this way we're going to have like this be a bit of an arterial road in a way. It'll kind of connect up into this, but this road's going to be dominant the entire way. So this road is going to connect into this one, and they're going to kind of fuse together in a way. So let's get this to the same height. There we go. We should probably do some smoothing and everything like that, including a node controller, because this node is real funky. Real funky indeed. Okay, that's good. Let's get this to the same height then as that. Nope, this one. There we go. And then let's get that slip lane too. Oh, look at this. 1 lane country road. I didn't realize that. We'll do that. And then let's see if we can just pull it in with move it a little bit. Alrighty. So now we can just throw a bit of a road out this way. Let's go into freeform road again. All right, fantastic. Now let's do the other part, and I'll read some comments as we're getting going. So, where were we? I'm probably going to miss a few of these comments. Will you have a Q&A live stream? Is that something people would like? I kind of leave these as kind of, like when I say like building routes and chatting, feel free to use this as a Q&A kind of thing if you like. But if you have any questions, I'm always free to answer them. You can always throw them on the Discord too, as well if you have any questions along those lines. So where were we? This road here is probably similar to this road. Yes, it is similar to this road. Let's go elevated for a little bit, and let's go freeform from here maybe. No, straight. Let's go straight. Let's go click home. Bring it out to 12 units because we're going to get that snapped back. There we go. And now we can go into freeform from here. And I'll read some more comments while we're doing it. Am I bilingual? Yes, I think I already covered that. Oui, je suis bilingue. Je parle français et anglais. Je parle français pour mon travail. Speak French for my job, so had to learn it. I've known French pretty much my entire life. And I'm not going to say it, but I have a French last name, so it's in my family. All right, so freeform now. What? Oh, I'm in build mode. There we go. All right, so we're gonna curve into over here, and David says you could run a covered bridge beside the gritter one. Oh, I like that idea. Of course, there'll probably be an older bridge, right? I kind of wish some of the pedestrian bridges were covered bridges. That would be really cool. We're probably going to go under the ground here. So I'm just going to go to -9 right there. Pull that back just slightly. And then I will slope it from here to about here. Fantastic. And we'll definitely come back to this down the road. Will you have videos of Kevin? More to come on that in the future. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I might start... Why can't I delete that? But I might start up... I've been getting some questions about memberships and stuff like that, so I might consider doing something along those lines with some IRL videos or something like that in memberships. But I haven't decided that yet. Still need to talk with the assistant to the city manager, aka Kevin, to see if he wants to be in videos beyond his Kevmojis, as I call them. All right, let's do that, and then we'll have a straight connection in here. Whoops, did not do that right. Did not do that right. Let's back that up. And we'll go straight out of this node. 20 units. And then we'll do a nice simple curve from here, connecting up with that. And did you watch Downey Live Series Canada? Yes, I did. Downey Live is really cool. I follow him still, and he got access onto the new Via Rail trains, and I love the Via Rail. So I saw the sneak peek at the new Via Rail trains. The Via Rail is the regional rail in Canada, so like the intercity rail in Canada. So if you need to go anywhere, you got to take the Via Rail if you don't want to fly. So 2.5%. That is a fantastic slope for this road. Love, love, love that. All right, so that's pretty good. And Emmy says, what is your favorite feature in CS2? It's got to be seasons. I am really stoked on seasons. I pre-plan a lot of my builds around the fact that like there's seasons in Canada. Now BC is a little different because they don't really get that much snow. But I thought there was one over here that we did. Yeah, when I'm talking about like these areas where there's lots of little tight areas like this and here, I fill them up with concrete because one, stuff dies when salted snow gets put on the grass. So in Canadian cities, a lot of it's concrete because when the snowplows go by, they push salt onto the grass, and the grass just can't grow because you salted the grass. When ancient Rome conquered Carthage, they sowed salt into the ground to make sure that nothing could grow there again, as like a form of vengeance, right? So the concept is still, it's not just an ancient concept. Salt in ground doesn't let things grow. So in Canadian cities, a lot of the times things are just concreted over because there's no point in having grass. They're just going to die every year. So I try to plan out my cities with the Canadian mindset. So I'm really excited for the fact that we're gonna need to actually think about snow. And I already know what I'm doing for my first City Skylines 2 series. So we're gonna need to make sure that snow is very much at the forefront of our minds, because perhaps the city that I'm gonna do has lots of snow involved. So it's gonna be a fun time. Martin Hill, hello. You say to christen the beer, the deck with a good beer. Christen the beer with a deck, actually, is what I was going to say. 100%. I'm having a few friends over for a barbecue tomorrow, so there will be a few beers to be had. A few soda pops. My apologies. Yeah. All right, let's continue building out some roads. And I think we need to connect this road up with this one now. How many, Chavut says how many FPS you have in the game and what specs you have in your PC. I am not the best with that kind of thing. I don't know. To be straight with you, I don't know. Very sorry to tell you that I don't know, but it's the truth. I think I have 8 gigabytes of RAM, if that helps. I actually do this off of a fairly substantial gaming laptop that I bought in 2020. It was brand new at the time. It is a Strix. Is that a thing? Does that make sense? All right, we're gonna curve this way and then go back to ground level and curve this way. Okay, so let's slope this now from here down to here. Wow, that is flat. Fantastic, we did a great job there. All right. Looking at some comments. Sorry for the silence. Legend says, do you have any siblings? Yes, I have a sister. And Martienne says, Steven, l'accent québécois. Oui. Just we. I work with lots of people from Quebec, and yeah, so you got to have a Quebecois accent when speaking French in Canada as a Canadian. Otherwise, you're not trying. So, oh no. What did I do? Pause the game, pause the game, pause the game. I've done this a few times by accident. So, whoopsies. There we go. Hopefully we don't get too big of a tsunami there. I adore Quebec. Quebec is a fantastic province. La belle province, if you wish. And in Quebec, they celebrated Saint Jean-Baptiste Day last weekend. And I've always found that to be, as a Anglophone who's not from Quebec, I find that holiday so awesome because it's right next to Canada Day. Now, I know in Quebec they don't celebrate Canada Day as hard as Anglophones do for various historical reasons. But, ooh, should we connect up here? In this node here, or should we connect up right there? I think it would make sense if this, historically, for this road to be a four-way crossing. But a cool fun fact that not many people outside of Canada know. In Quebec, from what I gather from my Quebecois friends and teachers growing up, Canada Day is not Canada Day in Quebec. It's moving day. Everyone's leases end on July 1st in Quebec, so it's moving day. And everyone has the day off, so everyone moves. Changes apartments on Canada Day. And because it's not really like an important holiday like Saint Jean-Baptiste Day, La Fête Nationale, national holiday of Quebec. So let's. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm trying to square out the node. There we go. And then I'm trying to give us dedicated turning lanes. There we go. Fantastic. That's going to be good enough for a little while. I would imagine, at least. But yeah, so in Quebec, June 24th is the big national holiday, not July 1st. All right. There we go. Complete view of these trees that are growing through the road. Martin Hill, you see a lot of old bridges and rail lines in the UK. Oh, I would imagine. I've been to the UK, and just the fact that there's like just old bridges everywhere is so cool. I walked Hadrian's Wall in the UK. Not the whole thing. I wish I did. That'd be really cool. But just like the fact that there's like a freaking Roman wall just in the middle of the city, or middle of the country, like that's so cool. And people just walk it like every day. People were walking their dogs there. They live nearby, and it's just like, yeah, this is just a Roman wall just right there, and I'm just casually walking by it, walking my dog. And yeah, anyways, that's really neat. Living in a country where the visible physical history is not as present as it is in Europe, is it's quite interesting going to Europe and seeing just visible physical history everywhere. So I find that interesting whenever I go there, which is rare. So No Mercy says Kevin is probably already plotting to take over the channel. Yeah, he might need a second channel because I need to keep him away. He's already prowling around in this series somewhere. I don't know where he is in this series yet, or right now. We gotta go find him. Last time we found him, he was in Lafayette Park. Let's see if we can find him if we just kind of sit here and watch. No, but there's his... Oh, no, that was Kevin. He just disappeared. I probably shouldn't say his name too much because he's sleeping downstairs, and I don't want to wake him up. But here's one of these crazy moose. And this is actually a pretty good size representation of moose. If you've never seen a moose in real life, it is bigger than a car, yes. They are terrifying. Anyways, there's lots of bears in Lafayette Park. I would hope that they're all tame. because that is also terrifying. And then brown bears too, which is terrifying. So Kyle says not true. Acadians don't speak Quebecois French. You're right. I was generalizing. My apologies to the Acadians. Every time I see an Acadian flag, it's just like, good for you, keeping the pride up. It's a very kind of unique part of Canadian history. Okay, so if you don't know Acadians, Google it. Google Acadian and the Canadian expulsion of 1713 and the Treaty of Utrecht, I believe, if my history remains or is accurate there. I think we need a connection here and to here, but we'll probably do that another time. Looking at these roads here, yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job. But we definitely need to have a road from here over top of the rail and kind of going in this direction now, because we did a lot of work out over here now. We have lots of crisscrossing roads, lots of historic rail or historic roads. So we probably need another one here. And this is a pretty dominant intersection, but I'm just going to continue using the regional roads because I find that simple to use. And let's go from here. Let's check the topography because that's going to be important for if we're going to tunnel or bridge. And I think we're going to bridge because it's probably the most thing that makes the most sense. And yeah, so let's curve to about here. And then let's start going up. And we'll go up to about here. And whoops, actually let's just kind of go straight at it from here. Let's turn off our guidelines. To 6 degrees here. Let's go 12 units, 6 degrees. There we go. And then let's go 9 units. And right up to there. Fantastic. Straight across. Let's turn our guidelines back on now. That'll be helpful. And then we'll go down to ground level. Casually. 32 units. Why not? That makes sense. And using the network multi-tool, I think we can slope it from here to here. 3.1% is not too shabby. And then from here to here, let's slope it. 3.7, let's bring it back a little bit more. Let's bring it right to this intersection, see if we can slope it out a little bit more. 2.2% is pretty good for a car. I definitely think a car can make that slope, no problem. No problem at all. Okay, I really like that bridge. I think that's really cool. And then we can continue with ground level streets. Let's take a quick look at the topography. So we're probably going to go, oh, interesting. Sorry if I'm moving too fast here. There's a hill here, so we could bring a road out this way to access this point here. Though I would imagine that that would be more of like a an industry, maybe like the forestry area out that way or something like that. Although we already have a forestry industry, so maybe like a small mountain town or something like that. But I don't know if we're gonna get access over here. If anything, I guess it's coming from this side. So, and maybe we'll bridge across it down the line. So let's just curve it out that way, and then maybe we can have a historic bypass or something like that. That would be cool. And then back to some comments as well. All right. Matien says, in relation to Canada Day in Quebec, yes, Moving Day, I heard that was that, and companies have discounts for it. I thought that was really wholesome. Oh, that's really interesting. Unique, like, micro history, I guess, of individuals in our micro geography, human geography of individuals and the relationship to the, I guess, the country's history and how businesses view the world too. That's pretty neat. Let's curve up this way. And the legend says, do Quebecers go to Wildwood, New Jersey? Likely. I know that Quebecers love to go to New York, for example, which is close to New Jersey, so I'd imagine that some people would likely go to New Jersey as well. Okay, we're coming up to this hill here. Let's start hitting this on a bit of an angle now, because that'll lessen the demand on the slope. There we go. Then we're in a bit of a flat portion here, it seems, based off of the trees. So I think maybe if we kind of go in this direction here, we can probably end it there for that historical road. And then now from a good point, probably, let's start off with this road here, because this is the landfill, right? So we should probably look to bypass the landfill in this direction. So we'll go off of here and we'll come up this way. And let's put the topography back on. Just like Italians living in Rome in relation to living around history. I can't imagine what that's like, just having the Colosseum there every day. Just being like, yep, gladiators used to fight here, and now I'm just going to work. So, No Mercy says, tons of really fascinating archaeology sites near Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, I did a paper on Hadrian's Wall when I was in school. I went to school for history, so lots of stuff there. Yeah, it's incredibly interesting. A lot of what we know about ancient Rome's logistics come from, like the military logistics come from Hadrian's Wall in particular, because the ground was able to preserve documents and stuff like that. Okay, so I think if we kind of approach a bridge over here, that could be cool. Covered bridge? No, I don't think so. I think this is more of a modern road, unfortunately. Okay, so let's go elevated now. I thought I clicked elevated here. And then I'm just going to go straight right across, and I'll fix the nodes afterwards. Let's go 50 units total. There we go. And then grab all these nodes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's set them to the same height. And then these ones here. This one and this one. Let's elevate to an appropriate height. To about there. Yep. And then these two outer ones. I'm just going to grab both of them. I'm going to then lower them just a touch. All right. And this one is actually over top of the highway here, so we don't see the pillar, and that is important. Okay, so now we have connected across the road here, or yeah, across the highway. I don't think that's going to be turning into an interchange, but that is a good spot if we do. Chris says, oh yeah, come to Germany, lots of Roman stuff here. I would imagine. Building something like the mains takes years because sooner rather than later you find Roman stuff. If you start digging, yeah, I hear that is an issue in Europe, right? And David says, moose are enormous and very scary. They really are. So gotta make sure you stay away from those. And Kyle, apologies about the Acadian stuff. And yes, Acadians are not from Quebec. That's too funny. That is some good Canadian history right there. Good Canadianness happening in the chat. And Joy says Kevin is magic. I think JMWZ said that too. That is funny. I can't believe he just disappeared like that on us. What the heck? And Legend says, can you guess where Waltham is? Waltham. Is that in Massachusetts? Sounds like something in Massachusetts. And Legends also says, can you post a comment in the community poll community post about Fort Prairie being canceled? Yeah, sure. FP is Fort Prairie, which was my other series. And Kyle says, I love history, especially ancient history. 100%. I haven't played the Assassin's Creed that takes place in ancient Egypt. Yeah, ancient Egypt, but that seems like one of the coolest things ever. Yes, name suggestions for sure. I have them, and if they're appropriate for the area, then 100% I'll add them in. And JLA says, do you think there's going to be an import feature from CS1 to CS2? No, I don't think there will be, but I don't know. But I don't think there will be, unfortunately. And Kyle says, sadly, my family has not spoken French for 200 years, other than my grandmother. Oh, my goodness. Not even through school? But I guess that's what happens when a country takes over your country. But in the 1700s, I guess. Leaves a lasting legacy. That's why history is so important, right? Because everything that is done in the past, it influences the present. Or, yeah, it has influenced the present in some way. Even if you don't really 100% think that it's relevant, everything kind of does, which is kind of like the butterfly effect, right? Like if you're talking about a time travel movie, if you step on a butterfly, it's going to affect the future. Well, it's because everything does, really. Everything in the past has led to the present, and if something changes, even something as small as a butterfly, then it could affect the future. Now, let's see where we are with our topography here, because I'm just building willy-nilly here. Yeah, that's why you don't just build willy-nilly. You need to use your topography tools, because I messed up. I think we should have gone off of this node here. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Oh, I missed roads. Whoops. And you know what? I just realized I missed a comment that I read and I was saving it. I think it was Legend said, oh, whoa. There's bunkers here. Interesting. Interesting. Perhaps it's the training ground, because I don't think there's any active bunkers in this part of the world. Or any historic bunkers, even. Maybe some ancient, or maybe some World War II fortifications, but I don't think anything to that degree. Not at all. Oh my gosh, I just built willy-nilly again. I needed to check the topography. All right. Topography time. Anyways, yeah, so the legend says, how is Canadian history taught in schools? And yeah, so if this is how I was taught it, at least, I'm 100% sure it's changed. But to what degree, I don't know. But you start off with just general basic history, right? Just like the key important dates, the key important feature people. It's usually introduced in like social science courses and stuff like that, and which is likely similar to how it is in America, or in the USA, and then it's introduced as a subject in like grade 7. Not too sure. And it's more just like basic general history, like just the key points. So prehistory, it's taught from obviously a colonial sense, because that is how history was written before recently, right? So was taught in schools and with the idea of colonialism in mind. So, you know, it goes pre-contact, contact, early colonial period. And what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to remove this node. There we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Finally. Holy cow. Yeah, so pre-contact, contact, settlement, European settlement. And then it goes into Confederation. And then from Confederation, it goes into Boer War, then World War I, World War II, and that's usually history classes go a little bit longer than World War II, into like the 60s, maybe, when we got our flag. But that's a general sense of how Canadian history is taught in elementary school. And then in high school, you can get a little bit deeper, particularly with the 20th century history, or from Confederation to the present. But like in any history course, once you start getting closer to the present, it stops becoming so much history and it's more just like more recent developments, I guess. So yeah, that was a good connection we did over here. I like that. I like these roads. That is really, really good. I think we've done a good job here. If we look at the city as a whole now, we can kind of see that there's lots of connections through here. And actually, you know what? I remembered we were supposed to build a covered bridge over here. But then, so once you get into high school, you get a little bit more deeper into Canadian history. But then once you get into post-secondary, you can get real specific. Okay, so let's go to rural road, dirt road, bridge. There we go. And straight. Okay. Let's grab all three of these nodes, set them to the same height as that. And then let's actually delete the middle node here because I want this to be one full giant bridge. All right, that's really, really cool. I think we can connect this up in a few different ways. So this will not be a dominant road, right? People won't drive on it, so I can actually bring a car road right onto this. We can do something like that. I'll fix that in a second. And then we will curve it in to like right here. Okay, and then we grab all the nodes that we just built. There we go, this one. Set them to the same height as that. There we go. And then this guy to the same height as this. And yeah, fantastic. So now we have kind of like the old bridge and the new bridge. And maybe off of the old bridge here, we could get like a trailhead or something like that. That'd be really cool. Should we go right here? No, let's move this node a little bit farther or closer to the bridge. And then from here, from this node, we can go straight, maybe like 3 or 4 blocks or units. And then Control H to that. There we go. And then we curve it out this way sharply. Oh, wrong road. Whoopsies. All right, and then maybe we can get like a homestead or a trailhead out this way or something like that. That'd be really cool. That would give it a purpose, right? And that's a good distance between the two too. I think that's pretty neat. All right. JWZ said importing maps from OpenStreetMaps would be so fantastic. Already exists with a poorly working mod. Oh, that'd be so cool. If you could just kind of build like take like the streets of like Montreal and then put them in the city and then you can develop them. That'd be really, really neat. Yeah, that'd be really fantastic. Kyle says my Canadian family was kicked out to Massachusetts, so they didn't go far. Unfortunate history. New Brunswick misses you. Or Nova Scotia. I mean, at the time, I think it was just called Nova Scotia, and they split the province, or they split the colony into two not too long after. And then No Mercy says, in regards to Canadian history, if I remember correctly, there was only one single confirmed Old Norse settlement in Canada. It's an interesting thought experiment to imagine how Canada would be. So that's L'Anse Meadows, which is in the northern tip of Newfoundland, which is the island in the North Atlantic. And really, really interesting. It is 100% confirmed, even though a lot of people say it's not confirmed, but it is. Like, come on, look at this. Look at what's there. Tell me that's not a Norse settlement. It's a Norse settlement. It looks exactly the way how they did it in Greenland. Leif Erikson, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, they've recently uncovered possible settlement in the Saguenay region of Quebec, which is, if you're looking at the St. Lawrence River and a picture of Quebec, there's a little inlet that's north of Quebec City by a couple hours. Canadians measure time in hours. Canadians measure distance in time. Does that make sense? So it's 2 hours away. It's not 100 kilometers away. So they found a possible Norse settlement there, right where the river converges with the St. Lawrence River. And then I think they found another possible settlement in Newfoundland as well, or maybe it's Labrador. But there's lots of like little tidbits of history out there that kind of link the fact that Norse people were trading with the indigenous people. So that that's interesting. I think I love history, so I'll talk about it forever, guys. So I think they found an axe head in Ontario, an iron axe head. Now the indigenous people in Ontario don't have axes, or didn't have ironwork. Sorry, they had axes, of course, but not ironworking. So they found an iron axe in a settlement that didn't trade with colonists. They know it was like that no one lived there. No one lived there before the colonists got there. So they know it was pre-contact. They found an iron axe head, and I think they said that it was a Norse axe. So they're like, how did that get there? Should we have a level crossing here? I think we should. Yeah, a tunnel doesn't really make sense, so I think a level crossing is the only thing that makes sense here. And then they've also found iron tools with Norse people in the Arctic, trading with the Thule people who disappeared in history, if I'm not mistaken. There are some genetic relations to the modern Inuit, but I don't think a lot of it. I don't think. I think they've just kind of disappeared in history, if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember from my school teachings. But yeah, so they found iron tools in the Arctic, like on Baffin Island area as well. But that's really close to Greenland, so. Okay, more comments. And No Mercy says, oh, missed that. My apologies. Imagine little Kevin with a Viking helmet. Oh man, vicious. That's too funny. Steven should get a Viking helmet and get a picture of a doggo with it. I think I can make that happen. Like maybe I can Photoshop one of Kevin with a Viking helmet. And I'm not good with Photoshop. I just use Canva for everything. David says, we only got taught history up to Eisenhower, but then I did graduate in 79. I mean, I think I also, with like my public school education, I also got taught history up to Eisenhower. So I don't think they've upgraded the education system since then. We actually get taught American history in Canada as well. It's an option, but if you go down the road of social sciences, American history is taught in grade 11, if I'm not mistaken, but it's probably changed since I went to school. Because Canada and America have a very unique relationship, so our histories are very well tied together. And something I didn't mention in relation to that, the War of 1812 is a major feature of Canadian history classes, pretty much from the time we start teaching history. It's all War of 1812, War of 1812. So yeah, I don't know how I forgot that. Especially in Ontario, because that is where a lot of the fighting took place in Canada, in what is now Canada, for that war. Okay. So, how far should we go out this way? Because there's nothing out this way. I know we're going to get another interchange over here, so why don't we just kind of plan out where that's going to be? And looking at the topography and the terrain, it's all flat anyways, so right here. How about that? There's a bit of a valley there. Let's plan that out for the interchange. Let's curve out this way. And we'll just kind of find ourselves amongst the trees. And there we go. Alrighty. Legend says, when are we streaming next? Because we are coming up to the end of our stream. I did say it was going to be an hour and a half. We're at an hour 36. I think we made really good progress, really good steps. I want to get one more road from here into this old factory area. when are we streaming next, folks? Let's think about this. So this was the end of June. I really wanted to get this earlier in the week, but the deck construction I didn't know was going to happen this week. And I just kind of got a notification on Monday that we're starting. So I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be in a few weeks. But I wasn't too mad because it means it was going to be done before Canada Day, which is awesome. And oh, if we can get this right here. Fantastic. Fantastic indeed. So July is the next month. I don't know, probably the last 2 weeks of July. Just thinking about my schedule and Skyline 6 schedule as well. Got to keep that in mind. Yeah, so I think last 2 weeks of July, I think would be a good time. Maybe like the 20th or 21st, but I'm not setting that in stone. That's just me kind of planning it off the top of my head because I do not have my calendar in front of me. That'd be useful. And Legend says, do you know the NEU people have descended from the Jomon people in Hokkaido? I did not know that. Is GIS used in Canada? GIS as in like the mapping software? Is that what it is? I'm actually going to continue this road a little bit further because I don't want to end the stream because I'm liking chatting with you all. But I'm going to end it in a few moments here. So if you have any other questions in this kind of impromptu Q&A or anything like that, feel free to let me know. But I think we're doing really good here, folks. I think we've set up our city for a really good expansion in the future. This was fun. I really liked building the roads and talking because I could kind of just do it in chat because you all know how to build roads. I don't need to talk that through too much. But let's see what we did. Let's do a bit of a recap. So we brought roads out over here. That's really great. I like that a lot. We have planned a major access point into the downtown, which is going to be here. That's awesome. This is screaming to be a park or something because look at all those trees. Are we going to have another bridge connection over here? Perhaps even a tunnel. I do know that we're going to get a metro out this way. Bridges though is tough because like there's no real point to connect to. The only possible option we have, especially because this is a park, is to have another bridge coming off of here in this direction. But that doesn't really make sense either. I like the fact that there's a large waterfront. We're going to run ferries and probably a tunnel. I would imagine a tunnel. I bet we could get a tunnel going from... Oh, no. It would probably just start somewhere pretty far back because of the way the geography is. Yeah, because we're on a hill, right? So a tunnel would be really tough to get to. It's not like we're flat and we can just start digging down and then go under. We need to like dig straight down to get under this. So yeah, I think that's going to be a major issue. And we are going to get a monorail out this way, I think. Because right now we have our monorail running right here. So the plan is to swing the monorail out this way and bring it that way. But wherever the next monorail stop is, I'm going to bring it down into here. But maybe that is the stop. Maybe I can branch it off this way. We can bring the monorail across here. Maybe we get another island. And then that is going to be another access point across the river. I kind of like that idea. I kind of like the idea of limiting the bridges. Let's get another island, folks, and then I think we'll have to call it. Right in here, I think is a really good spot. Maybe a bit closer to this side. I really like the idea of like a long, pointy island. Actually, this side would totally be shaved off with erosion. Seeing the flow of the river. Yeah, let's do something like this then. Okay, very cool. All right, and We need to go to a smaller grade. So that's right here. All right, more comments. Joy says, "Nice to see the roads already being used." Hey, good point. Good eye on that. I missed that, but let's take a look. Were they over here? Oh, did someone use this bridge and I missed it? That would be really neat. Doesn't look like it. Probably because there's trees in the way. So we should probably make sure that we delete that. Let's find one of these cars because I would really like to see that. Oh, look at that. There we go. Awesome. Probably turning left here, I'd imagine. Yeah. Very neat. Nomercy says, building roads is always exciting. Makes me think of all the possible beautiful places places alongside the roads. Joy says, me too. And I agree. I really like the idea of road building. I think even if you don't end up using them all, I think it kind of shows you of what could be out there, right? Like maybe this road doesn't get a town built up over here, but maybe we get an outside connection, meaning that maybe there's like a city over here in the distance, right? And that's where all the people come in and out of. That would be really, really neat. But yeah, I'm really excited to see all this come together. Perhaps it was one of these roads. No, why would it be over here? It'd probably be over here. I gotta find a car, folks. I gotta find a car. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Flying post vans. I guess Ron Weasley got a new gig. And he's, instead of flying his old blue car, he's flying a blue post van. Where is this going? There's nothing out this way. That is too funny. Legend says, did you read my question about the favorite Japanese cartoon? I don't know any Japanese cartoons, unfortunately. And Legend says, I did suggest to establish a resort island named Conway Island after George Conway. Back to the Future card. That is too funny. Yeah, perhaps it could be this one right here. It's big enough, so I think that's the main idea here, right? We got to find an island that's at least big enough, but also makes sense for the geography of the area. So right here, there's gonna be lots of erosion happening along this line because of the flow of the river. So I'm actually probably doing it incorrectly. This would probably be more rounded. Right along here too. And the point would be in this direction. Yeah, this makes a bit more sense, I would think. Marinette says, does it say confused if you click on the blue truck? Oh no, I've lost the truck though. It's probably so far gone. Let's see if we find it now from a distance. It disappeared into the mountain. There was a secret door that I went through. And Legend says, did you forget about the man-made lake suggestion? Well, we got to find a spot for it down the line if it makes sense to place for sure. I really like the idea of like retention ponds and stuff like that too. That could be really useful. Maybe around an interchange or something like that. But I don't want to do too much outside of the city for the next few episodes, except maybe I don't know what we're doing next. I don't know what we're doing next time. But perhaps it's part of the downtown. Perhaps it's continuing our expansion in Oracle Lake. Perhaps it is something entirely different, like a unique landfill build or something like that, because we don't have that yet. That could be interesting to do, but we'll see what we do next time. Perhaps it even is a man-made lake. I don't know what I'm doing for the next video yet, so I can't exactly tell you. All right. So, let's see. I think this is it, folks. It's probably the Vulcans establishing first contact. Oh yeah, see, they were smart and they just decided to cloak their ship as a post office van Perhaps the Glamazone Fulfillment Center is actually the Vulcan embassy to Earth, and we just don't know it yet. So that is too funny. All right, folks. So I think we're gonna call it here. We did a lot of work. We got a few islands in the river too, which is really nice. I don't want to do I don't want to do too many, but I think these spots here are good. I could see us maybe adding in a few more, but nothing on this side. It doesn't seem like the flow of the river really would allow for an island in that direction. I mean, this one was a stretch, but I really wanted to get an island there. So yeah, I think we could do a few more too down the line. I really like the idea of islands in the river. It also allows for crossings to happen a little bit easier as well. So let's fix up the city before we leave, because that would be useful. We have a burned down tent, which we should probably remove actually, because we don't need tents anymore. We already achieved level 5. But let's just reset these objects. And there we go. We have no abandoned buildings now. So let's get a cool kind of end shot view of the city. Let's go in this direction. All right. Oracle Valley coming along strong, folks. Been really enjoying this series so far, and we will finish it before City Skylines 2. To summarize, after all those roads we built, Fort Prairie, unfortunately, will be no more. So we can focus on Oracle Valley to finish it up before the next game comes out. And we will have a guest builder in Oracle Valley too. So more on that in the future. I'm really excited to share that with you all. Thank you so much for coming today. Happy Friday, TGIF. If you're in Eastern time, I hope you're done work now and can have a nice, relaxing weekend. If you're east of Eastern time, hope you've been enjoying your Friday night. And if you're west of Eastern time, I hope you get let off early today so that you can have an early Friday. So thank you so much for coming. It was fun talking history and fun building roads, and I can't wait for the next one. Have a wonderful time. Talk to you soon. Yes, wine time, 11 p.m. in Europe. Nice. That's going to be me in a few hours for sure. Grape juice. Sorry, not wine. Have a lovely day, folks. Talk to you soon. Peace out.